Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the privacy and the security editions. I know it still sounds like I'm going through puberty, but it's just my voice slowly getting better. I actually sound almost normal during the day. It's just at night, but anyway. Well, anyway, the show must go on. Let's go ahead and continue on through. And we are going to start in with an update in Australia. Google agrees to pay 60 million Australian buckaroos for misleading consumers regarding the collection of location data. So what this had to do with is, particularly on Android devices, when you would set it up, there is two different places for data collection, and you could turn both of those off. But it turned out that even with both those turned off, Google was using other things that weren't specifically tied to either of those two settings, collecting and storing information. And the linchpin for it was that they started to use this data to push personalized advertising on users. That was the step that went too far, that caused Australian privacy arm of their government to get into it. Google agreed to pay $60 million for misleading. So I guess each one of you guys in Australia who were misled will get like a quarter or something. But Google has promised to stop. So that's the good news. Well, how private is your period tracking app? Not very, study reveals. Research on more than 20 apps found that the majority collected large amount of personal data and shared it with third parties. Again, this is the greatest consequence of the Roe versus Wade overturning for me, is it's getting people to start thinking about privacy. I would have preferred a better and different route, but anyway, this is a study that came out of Mozilla. They looked at 20 different pregnancy and period tracking apps for privacy and security features, and they said most of these collect a vast amount of personal data and then share it widely. The vice president of advocacy at Mozilla said. Of the 10 pregnancy apps, 10 period and 10 period trackers and 5 wearables, so 25 devices total, only 7 were deemed to have safe user data and privacy practices. Most collected large amount of personal data and shared it with third parties such as data brokers and advertisers. So, remember, these data brokers are building up these profiles and everybody and then utilizing these profiles in basically buying and selling data and information. So all of these apps, so I'll just kind of remind you, if you're using a app from like a Google Play Store or Apple, and we'll get into some of the things a lot of us will talk about with Apple, and it's coming to true. Stay tuned for the business section tonight, and we will get into that. But with that being said, what I want to point out here is anytime you're using an app on a device, it is intrinsically more open to errors and to data collection, to information like this, because of the way apps are built with the modules. They're just like, well, analytics, just throw in the module. Oh, that's cool, just throw in the module. And then you're upsold the benefits of including these modules, so most people use them. They collect the data far and wide, and then it's used to track activities relating to something that happened in early November, and a video clip that talked about using such location data to track down some donkeys or something. I don't know. Very interesting. But anyway, that was what is going on. Well, on to this, though. The FTC is moving ahead with rulemaking processes on commercial surveillance. This is good news if they implement it right, but this is the government, so it won't be implemented right. You can just be sure of that. But basically, they are having some serious questions and concerns about the data being collected. We have to remember that United States is one of the few countries with no nationwide data privacy protections. So it's a wild west of people collecting any form of data and using any form of data. For example, I have never chosen to share any data, and I've never done business with Equihacks, yet my data is wrapped up in the Equihacks leak. And what do we all get for it? Well, a year of identity theft protection, which is the most useless product there is known to man. Lottery tickets are a better buy than that crap. Okay, guys, that is how stupid it is. So there is a fact sheet from the FTC And the fact sheet here, they're basically talking about the information they want. They want some comments. So head on over to the FTC, participate in the comment collection here. So they're concerned about companies collecting a vast troves of consumer information, only a fraction of which consumers proactively share. And this is why I think that all data brokers need to immediately shut down and nuke their servers. No more sharing data. If I have not explicitly done any business with you and explicitly shared business as is related to that work, then we need to reevaluate some things that are going on here. So that really is the thing that we need to look at doing. And then we have analysis. The FTC is concerned with companies use algorithms and automated systems to analyze information they collect. Monetization, they're concerned about the companies monetize surveillance in a wide variety of ways. And then they have commercial surveillance concerns, lacks data security, harm to kids, retaliation, surveillance creep, inaccuracy, bias, and dark patterns. So these are all good things. If the FTC right now has the ability to do something decent, but it's a government agency, so you know that whatever they come up with, it's going to do the opposite of good. But anyway, they're seeking comments. Maybe we can have some sane decision made out. But, you know, we have to remember which administration we're dealing with right now, and the odds of this administration, doing something good is, again, buying the lottery tickets is probably better odds. And on to our feature story. The fact we have this question here, ask all the time, why do I need this? How to stop your vacuum from spying on you. Well, I have expressed this concern before. You got the little Roomba. Of course, you got this couple here, and they're just enjoying themselves with a little Roomba here is proceeding to clean their house, indicating, oh, look at all the time we're going to save. We don't have to clean our house. I will point out that if the Roomba is going to successfully clean their house, they might want to get up off the floor. But that being said, remember that Roomba started mapping your house. And Roomba now requires an always-on data connection, and it's taking this mapping data and storing it up in its servers. Well, Amazon is buying Roomba. So the Roomba can now report back to the Bezos about everything in your house, your floor plan, the things you have, the smart devices, the network, the coverability, basically a bunch of things. If you have one of these Roombas, you might want to take it out back and put it down. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, the Roomba is not worth having. It is a spyware tool used to map your house and give such data to big tech. All right, so why do we need this? We don't. If you can't take the time to clean your house with a vacuum, then you're a little bit too busy. You need to reevaluate your life. Well, with the risk of being banned again from the tubies, we do push affiliates to help keep the bills paid around here. Today we are highlighting my science fiction novel, Synaptergy. Head on over to synaptergy.com or tlm.li/s. You can head on over here. You can listen to the first 5 minutes of the book on SoundCloud. You can read the first chapter over here. And there is also a list of places where I know of that the book is for sale. Check anywhere you buy your books online for Synaptergy, and it might be around if you are into science fiction. This is not like my other books, which is Christian in nature. This is completely secular, but family-friendly and clean science fiction novel. With that, guys, let's head on over to security news. First up in security news, CISA and FBI issue a security alert about Zepplin ransomware. This is a RaaS, ransomware as a service. If only we thought that it could not get any better than ransomware as a service. now Zepplin is out. Basically, what they're doing is kind of like you would hire a marketer or a publicist or something to find leads and things. Basically, the ransomware as a service is you say, hey, I want to get this ransomware out, and they just start pushing out all their contacts, all their leaks, and doing a variety of phishing scams and things like that to get whatever your ransomware and malware out there is. Nothing in here that is shocking or new, just reminders about ransomware, and they give us some backups here at Malwarebytes. Have a recovery plan, have offline backups. That is critically important. Encrypted, immutable, cannot be altered and deleted, and includes the entire organization's infrastructure. Basically, get a solid backup and keep it completely offline. All right. And then there is authentication, require password logins, audit user accounts, time-based access, and be aware of the various elements involved in your work. All right, so the next is a flaw in Amazon Ring could expose a user's camera recordings. You shouldn't be using Ring devices anyway. This is not in the Ring itself. This is in the Android app. So if you have the Android app and you are using a Ring, please kindly take the Ring off of your house and put a real doorbell there, so that you're not spying on the rest of the world that did not consent to be watched by you. I get it. You're just watching what comes up on your front door. If you have a Ring camera, please have a way that it only sees people who are on your front porch and not everything else. But for those that do have it and you have the Android app, please make sure you update your Android app. There was a bug in there that allowed people to get in there and basically use the login security tokens, throw a few things in there, and gain access to an entire user's Ring cameras. So just be aware of devices like this have all sorts of weird issues like that. How phishing attacks are exploited using Amazon Web Services. Another one that is not a novel article. It's like, wow, this is something new. I do absolutely love this stock art, though. Look at this thing. Somebody's literally going fishing with a username. So basically what this is anybody can go over to AWS, spin up some servers, add some websites. But what these guys are doing is they're using AWS on quick deploy servers in order to trick people in. Because one thing you can do on AWS that you can't easily do a lot of other things, you can make a backup of your whole server and then redeploy that across a variety of different stacks, different regions, locations, and things like that. And so people are using AWS to throw up these fake Microsoft things. I get these all the time, and I know they're fake because they're sending me things saying, hey, your account is compromised for accounts I don't even have. And I'm pretty sure nobody has, created them in my name for me. But of course, they're saying, the best way to avoid this, you get the email, it looks very legit. You don't even think about it. You quickly click the button in here to keep your same password, and boom, you have given up your information to the scammers. So, of course, how to avoid falling victim to this scam. Always good advice. Hover over any link in an email to see the destination URL before you click on it. Some things make this hard to do. It's really stupid. They're like, gotta have user friendly. We can't have things popping up on the screen. No, this is the one thing you really want popping up on the screen. Always scrutinize the content of an email. Encourage employees to contact a help desk or IT if they are unsure about the legitimacy of an email. Scan all hyperlinks for incoming messages at delivery and click time to determine if they're malicious. Don't depend on block or allow lists because hackers, continue to exploit legitimate sites. Turn to advanced AI that examines multiple factors. I would recommend against that just because AI is frightening. It's going to take us over. If you guys not watched iRobot and Terminator and every other movie out there or book out there that talks about AI, implement advanced email security that can analyze the nature of an incoming message. And on to our last one. Apparently, hackers wait until the holidays to hit U.S. government because we know that around holidays, everything in the United States government shuts down. Everyone goes down to skeleton crews. So Malwarebytes looks at times and places when things are hacked. And it turns out that things tend to be hacked right around holidays, which is kind of an obviously type thing. Like, duh. The skeleton crew's is only there. They can't deal with the infrastructure issue, and they can get in there and breach data before anybody comes back from the holidays, before they can even find anybody, because it's a government job and you're not supposed to work at all on the government job on the weekends. Well, anyway, if you'd like to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TOMM, if you would like to contribute to the page down there. So right now it gets you into the links. There's a few other things. I have a lot of notes in my books to implement some things. I was supposed to start implementing these last week, and then the Tubies decided to ban me, so I took all the spare time and made the restreaming server. I will get things updated here soon, but you can head on over to patreon.com/TOMM if you'd like to help support the channel. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.